Hiya guys, happy Wednesday and welcome back to my channel. One thing you should know about our Minister of Police is that he has no solution whatsoever when it comes to the issues of crime in South Africa. But to a certain degree, I'm not shocked because even before he became the acting Minister of Police, this is what he said about his experience and this specific department of policing.
In this all my life, so I don't know who the people are who are saying that I'm inexperienced. I, of course, have not served in this portfolio at national level, and I haven't had the privilege of serving in any other portfolio of the cabinet, although I note that many of my colleagues who served with me in Gauteng have been ministers for some time. So I don't think I'm going to have any difficulty stepping up to the plate. Yes, it is a huge responsibility, but you know, I understand the weight of the responsibility that I've been given. I feel the moment for the country, not arising just from my own appointment, but the moment we're in as a country that presents many challenges, and I have no choice but to accept the responsibility.
He is what he calls as bureaucratic rhetoric. So I went to find out what is bureaucratic rhetoric, and it says that it's a formal, technical, and often evasive way of speaking. And whenever he speaks, it's just like that. He doesn't provide any solutions. He speaks about engagement, he speaks about, you know, consulting people before he can make final determinations, whereas in South Africa we have serious crime rates, we have serious issues of crime. In this video, I wanted us to talk about this Minister of Police and these suggestions that he's coming with when it comes to the issue of crime. So to those who don't know, today there was the Interpol General Assembly, or the conference. So what is the Interpol? So the Interpol is the International Criminal Police Organization. It holds regular conferences and its annual General Assembly where police chief, justice ministers and security experts from its 196 members country meet. They discuss cross-border crime, terrorism, cyber crimes, drug trafficking, human trafficking, and cooperative governance and strategies. So those are some of the things that are discussed there. So after that, they had like a small, brief media conference where people asked the minister as to what does he think about the gang violence in Cape Town. And this is his response.
What SAHRC is doing about gang violence. I'm aware, of course, that some time ago anti-gang units were put in place. There's been some question about their resourcing. So, like I say, I've addressed a communication to his office for a briefing, so that I understand what SAHRC is doing and where the gaps might be. Then I'm going to engage with the religious leaders who've taken the initiative to talk with me on Monday, hopefully. I then, from those engagements, I'll decide what needs to be done. I've got quite a full week in other provinces next week, but my plan is to be back in Cape Town, I think it's the second week of this month, to pay a dedicated attention to this matter. And if urgent steps are required, further steps, once I've gone through this process, I will have clarity about what can and should be done. It can't be allowed to continue where you have unruly gangs shooting people in the streets. You know, it's not acceptable. So I can say, if there's a message to those gangs, they must stop, because I do not regard the status quo as acceptable.
As you guys can hear, that his response is to talk to people. That is not acceptable. That is not a good thing. If this does not signal to this thing of you don't have a solution, I don't know what else you'll be looking for if you don't see from here that the minister has no solution whatsoever. If you look at the statistics, I want to play you guys a video that shows you the statistics of crime in South Africa, what is currently going on when it comes to crime. And the second video that I'll play is for you to understand some of the things that are happening in Cape Town, and that in Cape Town the crime rate is going up and up and up, and you are telling us that you're still gonna engage people.
Over the 5 years, period of 5 years or so, are actually experiencing this. So let's get into the numbers. When you look at housebreaking, over the 5 years, period of 5 years or so, is being the most prevalent crime, a household crime in South Africa. And if you look at it in terms of incidents, meaning as a household Arabiwe, you are most likely to experience the same crime more than once. And that incidents are sitting around 1.5. And I think Veronica in the clip is actually articulating it nicely. But then when it comes into the reporting, we're seeing that there's very few of households who are actually reporting to the police. So what we are saying from statistics, we're saying that the data set that's coming from Statistics South Africa and the data set or the information that's coming from police, these two are complementing each other. They're not in competition. So remember, police are actually recording what the community has came to report to them.
Yes.
And if you're having about 43% of housebreaking that are just reported to the police, it means majority of half of the housebreaking are not reported to the police. And I think Statistics General has provided some reasons in terms of why they are not providing, they are not reporting to the police.
Crimes against women and children continue. This despite government's new laws to combat gender-based violence and femicide. Protection orders aren't enough to ensure victims' safety.
This is the very minister that earlier on, he said that police should not be acting on violence. They should just not do that. Let me just remind you guys on that part when he said that.
But I do not believe that Skopskit and Donner brings down crime. In fact, what it does is criminalize the police. Shoot to kill. Giving the police a license to murder is not the answer.
His failures as a minister, they are so very much open and very much obvious. Not just with him failing to curb crime, but it's also failing to curb crime in his very department, which is the Department of Policing. Because even Sibia, he's busy fighting Masemula, they're busy. It's just like children. To a point that Sibia even had a presser yesterday. I think it was outside a police station. And he said this.
At this point in time, I'm quite sure that this is what was going to be ventilated here today, so that you could hear what is being discussed, the facts put on the table. Where I'm sitting, where I'm standing, I'm quite sure and quite confident that I've done nothing wrong. And it is for the judge at the ultimate end to finally say whether I'm guilty or not. But I can safely tell you that I'm actually waiting for a positive outcome. I do know that I am not involved in any wrongdoing, and we will be clear.
Okay, but did you interfere or not interfere in the disbanding of the PKTT?
I never interfered, and what I also can say is that in the whole system, it can't be that I'm the only one who interfered, who did this and that. Over and above, there are many people that are in the system with a matter that has been handled since January, with a lot of feedback being given, a lot of meetings being held, going in and out of parliament discussing the same matter. Now, how do you then pin it on one individual and say this person did 1, 2, 3, 4?
Okay, so you're saying you agreed with the National Commissioner that the PKTT should be gradually phased out?
Look, there is correspondence in that regard that explain what happened, and that correspondence will be properly ventilated in court.
Number one, Sibia is a high-ranking police official. You cannot expect that the law holds you in the same standard as someone that has no experience and that does not hold office of that high ranking. You are a deputy national police commissioner. Even if, as he's saying, that he's not the only one who has interfered, there's other people that have interfered. At the end of the day, what is very important from all of this is that he has interfered. And those people that he's referring to, probably their ranks are lower than his. So the burden of judgment is higher on his part because he's supposed to set a good example to those ones that are below. So it doesn't help him saying this and this and that. And Kachala even said it himself that they want policies that they want police officials that are qualified, are honorable, that have integrity. He did say it today during that small media brief.
We are gathered here to generate solutions that are both strategic as well as pragmatic, solutions that can be implemented effectively within our countries and within the frameworks of our regional and continental organizations. Our deliberations will help to shape a more coordinated African response to transnational organized crime, one that strengthens the security of our borders while protecting the rights and well-being of our people. It's a point I can't stress too much. It's become very clear to me since my appointment that our challenge in this country, and I'm sure that this is the case in many jurisdictions, is transnational organized crime. And we are challenged to ensure that we are fit for purpose, that we can meet these challenges. Qualified and honorable. It is up to us to ensure that we uproot corruption within the law enforcement agencies themselves and to ensure that we have leaders who serve with integrity.
So you cannot expect that we should hold you in the same standard as your colleagues who have lower ranks. And this thing of busy like fighting, I thought that those are some of the things that is going to address the issue of Masemola and Sibiya. And what does he think about the suspension of Sibiya? Because at the end of the day, he still has the right to question Masemola to say that, okay, you guys are fighting, what's really going on? And he can make a good determination to say that they're going to really continue with the suspension or not. Because if Kachala is no problem with the suspension and does not even address it, clearly Sibiya should know that Kachala is agreeing with Masemola that he should take a step back, he should stay at home pending the investigation. But he keeps on probing, and we see the minister ignoring that. There's nothing that is annoying than our leaders ignoring when we want answers. When you are ignoring a situation, you are making us to have our own conclusions on the side, to have our own minds and think that, okay, probably the reason why things are like this and like this is because you want them. Whereas if you get to respond and say something, then at least people are gonna, relax and be like, okay, at least he said something. Whether we agree with it or not, that's another thing altogether. But you not saying anything and then not addressing this thing of Fanny Masemola as well as Shadrach Sibiya. Every time that they just want to be on Royal Rumble, fighting for some belt of some kind in that stage of WWE. It just doesn't make sense that you as the leader, you as the superior, you're not saying anything about that. So I'm very disappointed in Kachala when it comes to his lack of plan, when it comes to curbing the issues of crime, especially since in South Africa, crime is increasing all the time. And also this war that is happening between the commissioners, he's not doing anything. Even MKHWANAZI today did say something about the commission and said that he did his part. The rest of the part is with the government, is with our leaders. They will decide what to do going forward. Let me just play you guys that clip.
Well, I didn't call for a commission, so we spoke about what we spoke about in public for the executive to be able to act on it, both at the national level from what the president has announced in terms of a commission as well as parliament. We expect them to take action in order to help us to fight crime as police officers. However, we are continuing with our investigating work regardless of the challenges that we experience, and I'm sure we have seen of late some major arrest that has been effected as a result. So we're not going to stop. We're going to continue with that as police. So whatever the executive is doing, that is their responsibility. We focus on ours.
MKHWANAZI cannot do this thing, guys, by himself. He needs assistance. He cannot. You see, even now, he even spoke about his privacy, that people, they see him as this hero. Because we don't normally see such leaders in South Africa. We don't normally see such police. We know that our police, they're corrupt. They just want favors. They don't do their work. It's as if they are making us a favor. they're doing us a favor, as if we forced them to be in this policing industry. As you know, it's like that. So seeing this person, I understand why people, they go to him and they want to hug him, they want to, you know, associate with him and want to take this picture with him, because he's seen as this man that we're not used to something like this in South Africa. Let me just play you guys that clip where he speaks about his privacy.
2 months been since that briefing. I mean, we know that the National Commission announced that your security had been increased. There were a number of changes that had happened. What has it been like for you dealing with these past few weeks?
Yeah, then the difficulty is that my privacy has been compromised, because wherever I walk around and I get people that you know, recognize me and wants to greet me, and that's not what I enjoy the most. Other than that, everything remains the same. So I'm still proud of men and women out there, especially in KZN. On daily basis, they're making arrests, they're recovering illegal firearms, and the successful prosecutions that are happening in courts as a result of the hard-working men and women out there.
We need more and more practical solutions. We need more and more MKHWANAZIs that are going to protect our society, that are going to hold the government accountable, that are going to hold even these ministers accountable, because it's unfair that we have a minister of police that doesn't have a solution whatsoever. It's unfair that we have a minister of police that he just gives us these big terms like bureaucratic rhetoric.
I'm impatient, colleagues, with bureaucratic rhetoric and platitudes. These are deep problems. And in this country and in other countries, but speaking for my own country and my own people, this is a challenge we have to face, because we can't meet the other challenges of improving safety and security, underpinning development and economic growth of our people, whose futures are not negotiable, without attention to such matters. Professionalism, ethical commitments, uncompromising commitment to the safety and security of the population in a democracy, because that is what South Africa is. That has to be an unwavering commitment, one that is not merely repeated at conferences of this kind.
We don't care about those nice big English words that show that you're a professor, a law professor, you understand the law, you've taught constitutional law at universities or whatever, jurisprudence or whatever the case may be. What is important is that we need you to act now. You need to act in the best interest of society. And from the way you're acting, it's very questionable. I don't know what you guys think about our Minister of Police. I just think that they could have chosen someone better. It doesn't mean that since someone has been part of the ANC struggle, was there during the apartheid era, was arrested many a times, and understand police brutality, doesn't mean that they should be our leader. We need people in the policing industry or in the policing sector and department that are more experienced, that know what they're doing. Not people that are going to give us rhetoric, bureaucratic rhetoric solutions that I'm still going to consult who and talk to who. No, you have to have a solution as a police minister. When I asked you, someone got robbed, where, what is the solution? What should we do going forward? You should be able to provide me with a solution. You should be able to give society, especially crime. And you know, in this video, it's so funny that he's implicating himself. He is implicating himself, saying that, it's like he's saying that I did it, but I'm not the only one. We all do it. So since we all do it, they should all fire us. Yeah, guys, we are in serious trouble in South Africa. And also, guys, there's an article here from News 24 that says that Malema found guilty of hate speech for 2022 rally remarks. I'll see if I can't get to that clip. If I can, I'll insert it. If I can't, guys, I'm sorry. But the ruling says that the Equality Court in Cape Town on Wednesday found EFF leader Julius Malema guilty of hate speech. The case follows two complaints against Malema, one by the Human Rights Commission, another by an individual who said he had been threatened as a result of Malema's statements. The matter stems from EFF rally in October 2022, 2 years after the party clashed with the residents at Brackenfell High School. During his address, Malema told supporters, "Tell that white man to try me. I'll come many times here in Western Cape. appearing in a court case because no white man is going to beat me up. And I myself call myself a revolutionary the following day. We must never be scared to unalive. A revolutionary demands that at some point there must be unalivings, because the unaliving is part of a revolutionary act. In his ruling on Wednesday, Judge Mark Shea found Malema had demonstrated a clear intention to incite harm and to promote or propagate hatred. Shea added that Malema's statement in the speech were hate speech contrary to the provisions of the Equity Act. So yeah, that's what is going on, guys. I don't know if they will order him to apologize or what is going to be the ramifications of him being found guilty. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but I definitely think that the South African Human Rights Commission is setting a very serious precedence. Hopefully they will ensure that they do the same thing with Kenny Kunene. They're going to deal with these issues of hate speech when it comes to our leaders. It's not going to only apply to the EFF, it's also going to apply to Gates and McKenzie. And yeah, I don't know what you guys think about this judgment from the Equality Court, and I just wanted us to take the moment of silence for our sister Tshidi. So to those who don't know, our sister Tshidi has left us. She was a really amazing brains when it comes to our political space. It's not clear what happened, because I saw this news now while I'm trying to get the information as to what is the sentencing of Julius Malema's hate speech case. So yeah, I just want us to take a moment of silence. They're saying that she had a short illness and was hospitalized, and now we've lost her. Yeah, I'm really sorry to those ones who are close to her. She did like really amazing reporting, and we'll never forget how she defended South Africa from those Americans who are busy pushing that white genocide type of agenda. So please comment your thoughts, guys. Tell me what you think about the Equality Court and yeah, South Africa. Otherwise, tell me your thoughts. I'll see you on my next upload. Bye.